Today I'm dining at a Michelin star Korean restaurant. Jeju Noodle Bar is located in the West Village, and they're known for their Korean noodle dishes. Although I heard that it's the smaller dishes and appetizers that earned it their Michelin star. Taking a look inside, the space is small, and that's one reason why it's so difficult to get a reservation. I ended up getting a reservation at 3 PM on a Sunday. The menu is online, and you can scan the QR code to view it. The menu is a la carte, and everything is shareable. Most of the options are solid, but I heard that the ribeye and the rack of lamb isn't the best deal. Starting off, we have the Toro sambal. This is a nice mix of fatty tuna, egg, rice, shallots, jalapeno, and caviar. On the side, you have the toasted seaweed that you put the mix on. They have a nice infographic on how you should eat the dish. Just scoop up some of the mix and make a wrap with the seaweed. Although it's the most expensive, this is their best appetizer, and it's delicious. There's an option to add uni or sea urchin for $29, but I don't think it's necessary, as the flavor profile is good enough without it.
The Toro sambal is delicious. The Toro is nice and soft, and the mix pairs very well with the saltiness of the seaweed. The only complaint I have is the caviar doesn't taste like much.
For the next appetizer, I got the jang style ribs that come with a potato salad and cucumbers on the side. The meat is tender, and it's marinated with black bean sauce and maple syrup. I think the other seafood options are better choices, but the ribs are still good. You just make different choices when you eat at 3 PM.
The ribs were pretty good, although I don't think it's as good as ribs from any good American barbecue spot. I do think that if you're gonna order the noodles, the ramen as the entrees, you should probably get this appetizer so it fills you up, even though they're not known for this appetizer.
On to the mains. I had to get the Wagyu ramyun. There's A5 Wagyu brisket, and the broth is a veal bone broth. $45 for a noodle dish can be pretty expensive, but price aside, this is delicious, and it might be their best noodle dish. The meat is rare when you first get it, and if you want it more cooked, you can push it down a bit so it cooks in the broth. If you like it rare, it's safe to eat. If you want to share, you can request to get bowls from the waitstaff.
The Wagyu ramen is delicious. The Wagyu is soft and tender, and you only need to chew it a few times before you swallow. The broth has a nice beef flavor, and I love it. The noodles are kind of whatever. It doesn't taste like anything special, and I'm sure you can get better at normal Japanese ramen places, but it still complements the dish well.
For the other entree, I got the family ramyun. The broth is a pork broth, and there's porchetta and shrimp. For $23, this price is similar to most ramen shops in Manhattan. Adding the egg is an extra $4. You can probably skip that. There's some chili in the middle, and the waiter suggests to try the broth first before mixing it. This is how it looks after mixing the chili. The broth goes from a clear broth to a darker color.
The family ramen is pretty good. The broth before you mix it has a clear and clean taste, but after you mix it, it becomes spicy. The shrimp and the meat is pretty good, and it pairs well with the broth. However, just like the other dish, I think the noodles are kind of whatever, but it still pairs well with the dish.
Here are my final thoughts. The final bill ended up being around $200 after tax and 20% tip. That's pretty pricey for just 4 items. The food itself is good, and I'll probably only go here for special occasions. It's up to you whether you want to order one ramen to share and multiple appetizers, or one ramen and one appetizer per person. Both options are fine. As for how to get a reservation, you have to keep checking Resi and set notifications. I got lucky and found an open reservation for Sunday, September 8th when I was looking through Resi on August 25th. Reservations are open 1 month out, and while it's difficult to get one, I wouldn't say it feels impossible. When getting footage, I saw an open reservation for Wednesday, September 11th at 9 PM for 2. Have you been trying to get a reservation at Jeju Noodle Bar? Leave a comment below and check out the video on the end screen if you want to see another Korean Michelin star restaurant review.